Listen, honey, the economy is getting worse every day. We've really got to start tightening our belts and trimming the fat around here. You know, if you did a little more work around the house, we could save a lot of money.
Ugh.
For example, if you could learn how to cook, we could fire the chef. And if you could learn how to wash and put away clothes, we could fire the maids.
Yes. And if you could learn how to make love, we could fire the gardener.
You see, now that's using the old noggin. Hey, wait a minute.
Good evening, listeners. It's Owl Stretching Time. And now, here's your host, Frank Macaluso.
Thank you, Isaac. Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in once again to Owl Stretching Time. By now, I'm sure you've noticed that on this program we have a pretty steady roster of performers on this show. J.C. Olvera, Brian Barker, Michael Santos, Emily Bose, and, of course, myself. Well, we took great pains to build up an ensemble of capable, reliable actors in the weeks before production started on this series, and I believe that we've succeeded. Of course, this wasn't an easy task. You would not believe the kind of nut jobs that came in and auditioned for us. Hey, Nikki?
Yeah?
You can send in the first auditionee now.
Okay.
Name, please?
Blake Harper.
Any acting experience?
No, I mean, it's something I'm really interested in, but I don't really have any real experience with it.
Do you have any special skills, like, say, impressions or animal noises?
Well, I can do this. Ta-da!
Ooh. Well, Mr. Harper, as interesting as that is, it doesn't really make for good radio. I mean, this talent of yours is one that relies on sight, I would say. I mean, I could describe to listeners the kind of odd shape you've contorted your body into, but it wouldn't really capture the magnitude of what you've done here. And since you don't have any acting experience, I'm afraid it's just not quite what I'm seeking at this time. Thank you for coming in, though.
Thank you for seeing me. Say, you wouldn't mind helping me untangle myself, would you?
Nikki?
I'm on it.
But, take him outside first. And send in the next dude while you're at it.
Okie doke.
Careful, watch my femur.
Whoop. Excuse me.
You're fine.
Name, please?
Jenny Higgins.
Any acting experience?
Yes. Here's my resume. I would like to perform a monologue from The Last Night of Ballyhoo by Alfred Uhry.
All right, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Everyone I know has a Christmas tree. It doesn't mean we're not Jewish. Look, I could call myself Sunny O'Houlihan, and everyone around here would...
They're coming!
Still know exactly what I am. Listen, the summer between 6th and 7th grade, my best friend was Benny Alice Sizemore.
Die!
What's going on here?
Your worthless life will soon be at an end.
Jenny?
There is no Jenny. There is only Zool.
Nikki? Help!
So, what did you think?
Next, for the love of God, please, next.
Why does everyone react that way whenever I do my demon possession bit?
Thank goodness I wore my brown pants. Nikki, send in the next person.
Hello there, sir.
Name, please.
Harvey McPherson.
And, what previous acting experience have you had?
I haven't had any yet, but I'm trying to get into it more.
Have you had, any experience at all in the field of entertainment?
Oh, yes. For 12 years, I've been working with a circus of some renown.
And, what do you do at that circus?
I'm a variety entertainer. My primary bit is that I sing through my buttocks. Would you like a demonstration?
No, thank you. Next.
I can also juggle whipped cream if that interests you.
Next. Just once, I'd like a human being to walk in through that door. Name, please. Oh my god. What the hell. You're hired, kid. How's 20 a week sound to you? Fine, 25, but not a cent more. Hey, no licking. That's rule number 1 around here. No one licks the star. Capiche? Down, boy. Down.
And now, an examination of things people actually give a damn about on Roundtable.
Good evening, and welcome to Roundtable, where we discuss important issues plaguing the world today. I'm Michael Kilgallen. Joining me tonight are Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, far-right radio personality Dick Pickford, developmental psychologist Dr. Harrison Corman, and a nude lady. Tonight's topic is one that has divided our country for ages. What is the proper way to fold a paper airplane? Dr. Corman, any thoughts?
Yes, now I believe that the most effective way to fold a paper airplane is to start by folding the top left corner all the way so that it meets the edge of the paper, after which you will unfold the paper, leaving a guiding crease. Then
Excuse me, Dr. Corman, Mr. Kilgallen, but I believe this topic is not of vital importance at all and only serves to distract us from the real issues.
For once I agree with Senator Warren. While we're here yammering on about paper airplanes, Barack Hussein Obama is making secret plans with the government of North Korea to exchange vital military information for a return to the presidency. He has betrayed our country to the commies so he can take over as dictator and flood this country with illegal aliens who will take good jobs from
Mr.
good
Pickford,
hardworking...
that is an outrageous lie, and you know it.
I'll have you know my sources are very reliable. They can find out things before the FBI can. They're so good.
Who are your sources, then?
I will not divulge that information at this moment.
You have no sources, do you? You just pull stuff out of your anal cavity just to slander a decent man's name just because you disagree with his political views and policies.
I do too have sources, but for their protection I won't divulge who they are on the air.
If they were on the level, Mr. Pickford, they wouldn't need protection from you, of all people.
If I may, Senator, I would like to continue the point I was making.
Look, everybody knows that the best modern paper airplane design is the hammer.
That's exactly the design I was talking about.
Good. Now, can we
Now,
please...
hold on a minute. I don't get why a friggin' little paper airplane has to have a complicated design or a special name. It's just a piece of paper folded up to look like an airplane.
It is not just a piece of paper folded up to look like an airplane. Paper airplanes are complex, highly revered art form dating back to the 1st century in China. And they have...
You heard him, people! Paper airplanes are Chinese communist propaganda! He admitted it! Already they've infiltrated our country!
Mr. Pickford, I am hosting this show, not you. I will make the wild accusations prefaced by the word aha around here. Now, back to the subject at hand. A nude lady, any thoughts?
Jeez, it's cold in here.
Very good point. Well, I'm afraid that's about all the time we have for Roundtable tonight. Tune in next time when our topic will be, Is Conversation a Dying Art? Until then, on behalf of myself and the panel, thank you, and good night.
And now for a word from our sponsor.
So, they put you in charge of creating the great new ad for food, did they?
They sure did, Wentworth. And frankly, I'm stumped. What can I say about food that hasn't already been said?
Why shouldn't you say what already's been said? Sometimes you need a reminder of what you already know.
I just want to be original about this.
Trust me, Wilson. Nothing's original. Anything you could possibly do for an ad about food has already been done by someone else before you.
Well, what should I do then?
Just tell them the facts. That food is a vital part of everyday life, and it's the product that everybody needs from 1 to 100.
And should I tell them that food is an important part of a complete, nutritious breakfast?
By all means. And don't forget lunch, dinner, and snacks either.
So that's it? I just tell them all that?
Oh no, you don't tell them that. You get a scantily clad supermodel to tell them all that.
But it's a radio ad.
Oh. Well then just get any old nobody with a nice sounding voice.
Food. It's nummy num num for your tummy tum tum.
You're listening to Owl Stretching Time on WJMU. And now for a special message from the newest member of our Owl Stretching team, Noodles the Wonder Dog.
Now hang on a second, this is getting ridiculous.
Shut up, you're interrupting.
Isaac, he's a dog.
And?
He doesn't speak English.
Oh, and just because he can't speak English, you think he has less of a right to live in this country than you do? You know, you are just the worst type of racist.
No one is going to understand him if he's just going to bark the whole time. What is even the point of all this?
Yo, dudes, what's going on?
Noodles was in the middle of giving a speech when all of a sudden, Mr. In America We Speak American here, barges
I never
in
made any statement of that nature.
and says that Noodles, a good, upstanding, hardworking, tax-paying citizen of the United States, had no right giving a speech over the airwaves just because he doesn't speak English.
Never said he didn't have the right to give
Why
us...
don't you just go fly over to Pakistan and gun down all of our troops there, you white nationalist sack of crap?
I'm Filipino, you dumb kraut!
Ha! What'd I say? Racist as the day is long.
Guys, you're upsetting Noodles. Look. Now, you two go sit in the corner and think about what you've done. In the meantime, I'll try and comfort Noodles and convince him to give his speech.
But
I can translate for him. I speak dog. Now go to the corner, both of you.
He started it.
I don't care who started it. I'm finishing it. Now you two each go to different corners of the room, and when you're ready to behave like grown-ups, you can come back and join us.
Okay.
And no snack time for either of you.
Oh, but I'm so
Dang it.
hungry.
And for those of you listening at home, here's a little something to tide you over.
It's pretty out tonight.
Yeah, it sure is.
I like how you can kind of see the Big Dipper. Look, there it is.
Yeah, you can actually see the stars from up here, 'cause we're far away from the bright city lights.
Yeah. I never get to see the Big Dipper. Well, sometimes in pictures or movies, but never in person.
You ever go camping?
No, my grandpa lost his leg on a camping trip once, and my dad was so traumatized that he never went camping again. And my mom is a bit of a homebody, so she only goes out to go shopping or stuff like that.
Oh, how'd your grandpa lose his leg?
In a crap game. He ran out of money, so he bet his leg.
That must have hurt.
Oh no, it was a prosthetic. He lost his real leg in the war.
Which war?
I don't know. He never said.
Did he ever get a new prosthetic leg?
Eventually, yeah, but then he lost that one to a coyote.
The coyote attacked him?
No, strip poker.
Oh. Your grandpa's kind of weird.
Yeah, my dad always says he's never been the same since that walrus fell on him.
A walrus fell on him?
It was the 60s. Things were really weird then. I'm actually named after a singer from the 60s.
Who?
Fanita James.
Who's she?
Some girl who sang in a girl group. The Blossoms, I think.
Huh. Kind of a girly name, the Blossoms.
Well, they were a girl group, so...
Oh, yeah. Fanita,
Yeah?
I was thinking... Well, homecoming is coming up soon.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a date for homecoming yet?
No, I don't think I want to go, actually. I don't really like big events like that.
Oh, well, would you like to go camping instead? See the stars and stuff?
I don't know. I figured I'd do some of my homework that night.
You could bring it with you if you wanted, and you could work on it after we set up the tent. Or you could just do it Sunday. I mean, if there's not too much.
I think it'll be fine. Maybe I could do it Sunday. Or Friday night.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, I could just do my homework Friday night and be free to go camping with you Saturday.
So, you'll go camping with me?
Sure.
Great! We should probably head home. It's almost 11.
Yeah. Remind me where you live again?
3030 North Hudson.
Right. Let's go.
Now, Frank, what do you have to say to Isaac?
I'm sorry I called you a kraut. It's a slur and it's hurtful and I shouldn't have done it and I'll never do it again.
And I'm sorry you're an insensitive jerk who's so full of self-loathing that you just can't stand to see someone you consider lesser than you being more successful at something you love than you will ever be.
I'm sorry I didn't get Darius Lee to be my announcer.
I'm sorry you didn't get him to be your announcer, too.
Aw, come here, you big lug.
Good. Now that that's settled, our newest colleague, Noodles, would like to say a few words to our audience. For those who do not speak dog, I will translate. Noodles, whenever you're ready, you may begin. Oh, you old flatterer, you. Good evening, friends. I know that right now the world seems like a very scary place for you humans with all the bad stuff other humans are doing. On behalf of all dogs all over the world, I would just like to say that we are here for you if you need us to provide comfort and emotional support. We love you. Good night, and have a pleasant tomorrow.
That was beautiful.
You know, I've never really appreciated the beauty of dog language until now.
It is a beautiful language.
Miss Emily, may I please introduce the final segment of the episode?
I think I can trust you to do that without offending someone. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Miss Emily. And now to close out the program, we bring you another edition of Farnsworth's Fables. And here to narrate is the author himself, Mr. Reginald Q. Farnsworth.
What the hell are you people on? Anyway, this week's story is the long-beloved tale of Snow White, adapted by yours truly, of course. It all begins in the enchanted kingdom of Karmikala, where the vain and evil queen Joanna ruled with an iron fist. Not one singular woman in the kingdom was allowed to be prettier than she was, and any woman who was would either be banished or beheaded. To ensure that she remained the prettiest woman in the kingdom, she had a magic mirror made for her, and this mirror had the ability to detect who was the prettiest woman in the kingdom. One fateful day, she walked into her parlor, looked into the magic mirror, and said,
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
You know, I don't really care for you using the word fair in that context. It perpetuates the notion that only light-skinned women are attractive.
Look, magic mirror, when I want a lecture, I'll call my mother-in-law. Just answer my question.
I do wish that you'd take my feelings on this matter into account, though.
Well, what else could I possibly say besides fairest?
Well, you could use prettiest or most beautiful.
But those don't scan.
They could. It depends on the rhythm with which you say them.
Look, could we just take care of this some other day?
I suppose it would be beneficial to come back to this matter at a later date with fresh outlooks.
Then we're agreed. Now, who is the prettiest woman in all the land?
Well, at the moment, the general consensus seems to be that the most beautiful woman in the land is one Lucero Garcia.
Who?
She lives in a small village quite close to the castle, and she is currently pursuing a career in nursing.
I don't care about her career aspirations, Mirror. I want her brought to me. I shall send my greatest knight to capture her and bring her to the castle, and then I shall decide her fate.
There is one thing you might want to know about her, Your Majesty.
What is it?
Miss Garcia is known to quite a few by a different name, Snow White.
Indeed, she had earned the nickname Snow White, though this had nothing to do with her appearance or her choice of clothing or anything of substance, really. Rather, this was an insulting nickname given to her by a few other young women in her village.
Oh my god, look over there. It's little Snow White.
Lonely little Snow White.
Lonely, dateless little Snow White.
I bet she's still a virgin.
Hey, Snow White.
Oh boy. Hi, Grace. Hi, Leslie. Hi, Heather.
Is it true you're, like, still a virgin?
Yeah. What's the big deal?
Like, you never done it with anyone? You don't even go out with anyone. All you do is study.
Hey, knowledge isn't going to observe itself.
You're like the most unpopular girl in the village.
You're a laughingstock.
It must be so miserable being you.
Just because I'm a virgin.
Yeah.
Okay, now if you'll excuse me, I've got
Have you not been listening?
I have. I just don't care.
You don't care that all the other girls in the village make fun of you?
Or the guys don't ever ask you out.
Yeah, I don't really care about all that. Look, I want to be a nurse. I'm working hard to get there. If my social life suffers right now, that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I'll have plenty of time to go out and hang out with people once I'm done with my training, and I've got a paying job. And besides, virginity is just a social construct. In the long run, it means nothing, and no one's gonna care if you've done it or not. Especially when you're old and weak and can't go to the bathroom on your own.
Ugh, you're no fun. I mean, you're not even gonna cry into your pillow tonight after the sound mocking we gave you?
Not likely.
Ugh, come on, girls. Let's go get some froya.
Okay, bye-bye.
I don't know why I still try writing teenage girl characters sometimes. Anyway, Queen Joanna sent out her most loyal and vigilant knight, Sir Peter of the Falklands, to capture Lucero and bring her back to the castle. Finding her proved to be an easy task.
Excuse me, miss, would you mind telling me where I could find a Miss Lucero Garcia?
Yeah, she's the short, four-eyed virgin over there with all the notebooks and crap.
Thank you.
Now came the hard part, capturing her.
Are you Lucero Garcia?
Yes? Who's asking?
I've been sent here by the Queen to capture you and take over to her castle.
What does she want to see me about?
According to a magic mirror, you're the prettiest woman in the kingdom, and she's kind of cheesed about that.
Well, I better go see her. Maybe we can talk this thing out.
All right, then. There's just one other thing before we go.
What?
Leave the books. Odds are you're not going to need them.
And so Sir Peter took Lucero to the Queen. Or at least he would have if he had not suffered a major heart attack on the way there. Thinking quickly, Lucero resuscitated him and kept him fed and hydrated until he was well enough to stand and walk on his own. Ever so grateful, Sir Peter decided to let her go.
Ah, yes, well, kid, Lucy. You'll make a fine nurse someday. You'll go back home now, you hear?
What about the Queen?
She was probably just gonna have you killed or something. Nothing important.
And so Lucero returned to her village and to her studies. And Sir Peter returned to the Queen's palace empty-handed, which did not please the Queen one tiny bit.
You do realize that, for this insubordination, I must shoot you through the head, don't you?
I do. Nice shot, Your Majesty.
It's so hard getting good help nowadays. Alas, I'll have to do this job myself, apparently.
And so the Queen disguised herself as an old woman and headed out to the village where Lucero lived. When she found Lucero studying, as usual, she slowly snuck up behind her with a garrote, intent on strangling the poor girl to death. But she was soon spotted and foiled.
Oh my god, like, gag me with a spoon. That old lady is, like, totally trying to kill Snow White.
I mean, yeah, I get it. I hate her too, but I think murder is a little excessive.
Shut up! I must kill her so I may remain the most beautiful woman in all the kingdom.
Don't even bother. She's, like, already dead. Socially, anyway.
All she does is study. She never goes to parties or anything.
And she's still a virgin.
A virgin? That is rich! Here I am, worrying about losing my position as the most beautiful woman in the kingdom to a virgin. Well, settle this. Let's the four of us head down to the pub and pick us up some guys, eh?
No way, old lady. You, like, totally cramp our style.
How dare you call me... Oh, right. The disguise. Well, I'll just head home then.
And so Queen Joanna returned to her palace and continued to lead a life controlled by vanity. But she never bothered Lucero again. Meanwhile, Lucero studied very hard and passed all her exams. And in 4 years' time, she was a registered nurse. She celebrated with a 5-day bender and later adopted a husky whom she named Clarissa. And so ends the tale of Snow White. I'll see you all again whenever I feel like it. Ta-ta!
Thank you, Mr. Farnsworth. And so we come to the end of yet another episode. We'd like to thank you all for tuning in, and we hope to be with you once again same time next week. Until then, I'd like to leave you with this thought. Adrian Barbeau beating the living crap out of Ann Coulter. Pleasant dreams, folks.
That was Owl Stretching Time, starring Frank Macaluso, Brian Barker, Emily Bowes, J.C. Olvera, and Michael Santos, with Erica Caruso, Anais Morgan, Megan Pender, and Antonio Verdera. This episode was written and produced by Frank Macaluso and directed by Noodles the Wonder Dog. Who's a good director? You're a good director. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're the best director in the whole wide world.
Isaac,
Oh.
do your job.
The script advisors were Emily Bowes and Nikki Wiltshire. This is your announcer, Isaac Weezer, speaking.